everyone. Sorry I am late. I'm almost 10 minutes late. Be completely transparent. I was actually in bed. I've had a bit of a lingering migraine. So I suffer from chronic migraines, but when I have one sort of lingering in the background, it knocks me for six. I can feel one coming. I'm hoping it goes away, honestly. Those that suffer from chronic headaches or migraines will understand. It's just sucky. That's the only way I can describe it. So I'm just hoping, because sometimes there can be an aura for a seizure, and I'm hoping that's not going to be the case with this one. Yeah, so that's, it was on my mind. Hey, Nicole, how are you? I see you on here at right on the dot. So you were right on time. Now, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that technology is nice to me, because last night my computer, so I have two. I have a laptop and a desktop, but the desktop is actually what I stream from. And it is, I want to say, it'd have to be 8 or 9 years old now. And anyway, it's the screen's starting to die. So it's an iMac, so it's all in one. You don't have a screen, like a, what am I saying? A computer and then a monitor separate. It's all in one. So it's fairly old and it's starting to die. It doesn't like me anymore. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to get out of it, because it's dying quite quickly. So basically it's got burn marks on it, and I can see when I quit applications, the actual image of them is staying on the screen, which is really annoying. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to have out of it, and I'm hoping that it's going to play nicely. So I have been looking at a new computer today. It wasn't really in the budget at all to buy a new computer, but that's what I was doing. Haven't decided yet. I just secretly hope the problem will go away. I know it doesn't work like that, but yeah. So I think I was getting stressed. I had this lingering headache and thinking about computers, and I just ended up going to bed. So sometimes that's the easiest thing to do, isn't it? So yeah, I've got my laptop on standby because the desktop is actually running the stream. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's all good. And by the way, I'm actually here this week. I know that the last couple of weeks, I'll take that off the screen, that's a bit annoying. The last couple of weeks I've pre-recorded it and gone live with pre-recorded video. But this week I'm here. So hey, hey Kate, hey Rochelle. Yeah, so I didn't have time. I thought about pre-recording a video and then I really didn't have time to pre-record it. So I actually hadn't even made the card for tonight. I sort of designed bits of it, but hadn't made it until this afternoon, because I had a live class today with the Stampin Lounge. And I don't even know, I can't show you the card because it's for the members, but I don't even know where I put it. I cleaned up my desk and popped it away. So we had a class this morning with Rochelle, Maheshwari and myself, and we did 3 fun folds with I've still got the bundle here. We did it with the Nest of Winter Suite, which was really fun. And Rochelle and Maheshwari's cards, I've actually got, well, this is as far as I got. Am I good? That's Rochelle's card. So it's sitting there ready to do. I've got some little bits there. I was just trying to get caught up with everything, so I haven't quite got far enough yet to finish that. I'm just going to turn up my lights just a touch. I don't want to do it too much. Hey, Renee. So this week I'm doing a fun fold, because fun folds, I just love fun folds. It's 1:11 a.m. Is it just Anne or Anne Marguerite in California? Wow. See, I feel like you're either a nighttime crafter or a daytime crafter. You might not be crafting though, but yeah, I'm definitely a morning crafter. I cannot craft at night, and this is 7:15 at night for me, and this is pretty much my max as far as I'll go as being a nighttime crafter. So I want to get straight into the card, but the only thing that came up that I hadn't shared on my page, okay, well, I'll just go with this because it popped up. For those that don't know, I have a calendar on my website. So if you want to stay up to date and don't rely on my Facebook events, because I don't always pop stuff up there on time, I do actually have a calendar on my website. It's my own calendar. It's not a Stampin' Up calendar. Although in saying that, I do add Stampin' Up things on there as far as promotions and whatnot. But if you want to know anything that's coming up in the world of Kayla, I'm going to pop a comment in the comment box, and that is the link to my calendar, and you can actually subscribe to my calendar, which will let you know when I add any events to the calendar. Hey Sandra, hey Kayleen, hey Megan. It's 6:15 there. Yeah, so that is what I've done just to make it a bit easier, because sometimes Facebook with the algorithm can be a bit of a pain in the bottom. The other thing is, I never really mentioned this, but I'm part of the Global Creative Project, and we do tutorials every month. This month is featuring the Reindeer Day Suite, which I tell you what, I've never seen so many reindeers. This suite I have used a lot. Now, I have a project in there as well as the other 11 members of the team, and we do video tutorials. We've got everything in there to make the cards. That you can purchase on my website, so on kaylarenee.com, and or I give it to both my team for free, as well as any customers that purchase through me. So there's 2 ways of getting it free if you live in Australia. Otherwise, you can actually purchase it no matter where you are in the world on my website. So I always forget to advertise it, because I give it out as a gift so often to those that qualify for that. The other news is that if you hadn't caught up, although I'm sure you have because it's all over the internet, but Stampin' Up took on Close to My Heart. I want to say I feel like it's been like 5 months now, but it's been a bit of a transition process with all the makers, not all of them, but the ones that came over, and Stampin' Up also purchased some of the inventory while they're transitioning over to the Stampin' Up designed memory keeping products. Now, anyway, now they've done their first release of memory keeping products. They're clearing out what was left of the Close to My Heart branded products. So they are currently 30% off. And I think it's most of them. They are keeping some flip flaps, some memory memory protectors and such, but there's a lot of bargains there, and it's selling very quickly. So that's available. If you can pop over and see, there's a link to my shop on my website, which I've just popped up there. I can't see it lasting too much longer. So if you want anything or want to check it out, definitely go in quick. There is also a bunch of stuff on the clearance rack as well. So there's a lot of bargains. And then I will just quickly share, this is what I'm going to be showing today. So I'm using brand new product that you might wonder where I've got that from. It's actually new online exclusives that were available to pre-order for demonstrators, but customers will be able to order them from November the 5th. Now, I'm using the Otterly Adorable Suite. And yeah, you'll be able to get it from November the 5th. But if you want it now, there is a way of getting it now. You can just join Stampin' Up. And if you're in Australia, you can join my team if you like. And you can add them to a starter kit. There is a starter kit special on at the moment where you get an extra $51 of stuff, and you can add this to your starter kit. I might share, if I can work out how to do it, at the end of how to do that, because it might be a bit confusing. Now, I'm going to pop back to my phone camera and share what I'm making. Hey Verity, hey Mashro, and take that giant big banner off. I'm always very unco at doing it. Okay, go back to that. Now, look at this. I went to bed, but I still managed to make a template. I've done the PDF. It's all up. So I have made this. Now, I could not work out, and it's looking very grainy in here. But I just don't want to turn up the lights too much. Okay. Now, I don't know what this fun fold is actually called. I typed in, so I saw this one on Rochelle Block's Instagram. Rochelle is lovely. She was an artisan team member as well. I've met her many times. But yes, I saw it on her Instagram ages ago, and I'm not sure what it's called. So I'm just going to go with a double gatefold. And then it opens up and there's a cute little otter inside. I just think it's adorable. I think you either like this suite or you don't. I love the otters. We don't have otters here in Australia. Australia and Antarctica are the only places in the world that don't have otters. We have, and it just sounds disgusting because apparently our closest relative to an otter is called a water rat, and that sounds nowhere near as cute. So I don't want it to wreck my image of it by Googling what a water rat looks like. But yes, I think these are adorable. We did have an otter set a couple of years ago, which was a celebration freebie. And yes, Megan, that is, I know people are going to go, what are you talking about? There was a lady, and I feel like she was French or something, that made a mini album with this suite, and it is amazing. Like, really cool. Oh, really, Kayleen? Your local zoo has them. So that's where you can see them in Australia. You have to go to the zoo because we don't have them. I should have said that. We don't have wild otters. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make this card. Now, I want to show, though, the paper first and check this out. This paper, you don't even have to have the stamp set. You could fussy cut it and be crazy with your fussy cutting like me. I think that might be the paper I'm using today as well. Hey, Kerry. Okay, this is the paper. Oh no, that's the one I'm using today. So it's the back is that, but I'm going to use this water design. Now, this paper is so cool. I shared it in another video, I think, the week I had 2 videos, but look how cute they are. I just think they're adorable. And it's got some beautiful basic designs as well. The die matches this one. So that's the one I've used on the front of the card. So if you don't like colouring, you could cut this one out. You don't have to do colouring. I mean, look at those two there. That is just too cute. Now, a few different designs. This one, and I only just worked out what one of the dies does. I was looking at it really weird, not working it out. And now I look at it, it's really obvious. These are river rocks or river pebbles, whatever you call them. This is the one that I entirely fussy cut the whole sheet. The dies coordinate with this one, I think. A couple of them, not all of them. The double ones don't have a die. So I cut them out. I even cut out these little side ones because I thought I can definitely use those. Otters are your favourite critters. You have them at the Perth Zoo. That's awesome. This suite has me wanting to go to the zoo and check them out. Okay, so that's what I've got left of that. So really cute paper. Now, this is the bundle. So we've got... There's 4 otters there. There's some fish and a couple little pieces there, and there's 3 sentiments to choose from. The dies, though, are really cool. They have lots of standalone dies, and I love it when Stampin' Up does that in a bundle where you've got dies that don't necessarily have to be used with the stamps. So we've got these really cute greenery pieces. It was funny because today on the Stamping Lounge, we were talking about different things we call do I have the bundle still? We were trying to think of a name that we were all calling this piece here. And we're like foliage, greenery, branch. And then we're like, it's really funny because when people read your instructions and you all refer to it as a different thing. So I'm not sure what you guys call these type of things. I just call them foliage usually. Then this tree trunk, I've used that today. The little fish are adorable. Some river rocks. So yeah, you've got ones to cut out all the images on the stamp set, but a lot of extras as well. And then there is, I'm going to use all of the, I'm using the whole suite today. So this is the Lost Lagoon cord, soft cord, I feel like it was called. And these are adorable. These are the little irregular pearls that look like little river pebbles. So cute. Okay, now I haven't had enough coffee today. Oh, I want to show you something cute. I sound really like my hyperactive child today. I sat there cutting. If those of you that met me on stage in Melbourne in March, I feel like it was in March, I cut out a gazillion of these scissors for my swaps. But anyway, my Stampin' Up team is called the Golden Scissor Craft Club. I love golden scissors. I do have a collection of golden scissors because I know quite often people wonder why it's called the Golden Scissors. I've always loved golden scissors. I have a couple. I think some of them are put away, but this is my favourite pair and it's really old. I love golden scissors. So I need to find a smaller pair. But anyway, I made, because it's the new Stampin' Up here in October, I made some gifts for my team. And these are little enamel pins. Aren't they cute? And this is the Stampin' Up Statement of the Heart. I still have that stamp set. So I made these. I needed something to pop the little pin on. The Chinese knot cord. What? Chinese knot cord? Is that what they call it? There you go. Yeah, so I've made those, and they're heading out to my team. Okay, so let's get started. You know when you get past the point of being tired that you just become more awake? I don't know. That makes no sense. Okay, so I've got out my pieces. Verity, yours is sitting. Verity's on my team. Yours is sitting here with your little packet. Verity lives not far from me. Okay, so I have got my card base. Now I've pre-stamped because I actually add a stamp to the back of my cards, and I thought this one would be easier to stamp it beforehand. So you can see I've got my stamp on this, but because I add so much stuff, it becomes a really uneven surface to stamp on. Hence the stamped. Okay, so I've got my piece there. Now this is a standard, this is just one piece. It's not a full card base. It's just the one. I'm not making any sense. It's not a folded over card. It's just the one piece. So this is 10.5 by 14.8, or it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then this is what's going to go on top of that to make our double gatefold. So this piece here would be 4 1/4 by 11, or if you're in metric, it's 10.5 by 28. So it's actually not quite the length of our A4 sheet. I've just cut it down to 28. Now we're going to make a couple of score lines. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer. I've pre-scored, but I want to go, I want to do it again with you. I'm just going to turn this down just a touch because I feel like it's very, very bright. Okay, so we're going to score 2 score lines from each end. Now I'm going to bring in this template so you can see, because I've done the template in both metric and imperial. Super, super easy. Basically, you want to do a score line at 5 and a score line at 9.5 on each end, or 2 inches and 3 3/4. That's as easy as it gets. Now, so we're going to do that. So we've got, what did I say, 5. Always move this one out of the way. We don't want to cut it. So we've got 5 and 9.5, and then you'll just flip it over and do the same. So you'll go 5 and 9.5. Now, I do want to say, if we're going to fold, so we're going to fold this one back on itself, right? And then we're going to fold this one the other way. So there is actually a technical way of doing, not technical, but I forget the actual name of it. Because this one's going to be folded in this way, we actually want to fold on the mountain. I don't know if you can see it, the score line. We want to fold on the opposite side that we scored it. But this one then, because we're folding it back, we will want to score that on the other side. So technically, if you want to do this and be all perfect about it, what we want to do is actually score our 5 centimetre or 2 inch this way, and then you can flip it over and do the other one. So a 5 centimetre or 2 inch. Now what we do is flip the cardstock and then do our next score line, which will be 9 1/2 or 3 3/4. Okay. Now turn it over and do the same. This gives us score lines on both sides, so they're actually opposite. And what you do then is actually fold in on one of them and then back, and it will give you a better score. So it won't crack. Megan, where did you get that rule on trim? I have no idea. Leanne purchased it. It also goes out. Mine's just getting a little bit funky here. I think I'm a bit impatient. You've got to line it up, but I need to ask Leanne where she saw it originally. Okay, so now I've done that, I'm going to grab my bone folder and just reinforce these scores. And what it does is gives you that nice score by doing it that way. So there is a rather technical way to properly score things, but, you know, sometimes I get lazy and don't always do it. So I want to reinforce that score there. So we're going to have this piece now. Now, these are not even, so they're not perfectly together. That's meant to be. Leanne, she does have all the cool things. So then this is gonna go on top of here. Now, to get it perfectly in the center to make sure you have a perfectly even space to put paper here is way too hard. It's actually easier just to put your layer, your DSP on top of your layer, stick that on here, and then roughly get as centered as you can and stick that on top so you've got nice layers either side. So that's what we're going to do, because there's no way I would be good at lining things up like that. Now, did I cut? Do you know what, guys? I didn't even cut my DSP, so you get to watch me do that, because apparently as organised as I think I am not. So we're going to cut the DSP together. Now, I want to make sure, oh, whoopsie. Pressing all the wrong buttons. Honestly, my computer is scaring me at the moment. It's doing all these weird things and I don't like it. Okay. Now I'm testing myself. Oops. Hey, Louisa, how are you? Okay. Just making sure that this is working okay. I think it's definitely time for a new computer. I'll have to get you guys to help me decide, because there's colours that are involved in this computer. Okay, so we're going to cut the DSP layers. Now, what I'm going to do is cut one for the... We want one to go onto this pretty peacock piece. So I'm going to cut that down. I want it at 10 centimetres. And you might be wondering why I have two blades on here, by the way. One of them I put gold paint pen on. I actually use this to cut things like glimmer paper that would wreck my blades. I just keep it on there, and that's what I use for stuff that's really going to blunt my blade that doesn't need a perfectly sharp blade. So yes, I want that at 10 centimetres, which will be 4 inches, and 14.3, which would be 5 1/4. Okay, so that should be a nice layer now for this piece. Now, we may as well cut the other ones while we're at it. So I want to go and cut 2 pieces that are 4.4 by 10 or 1 3/4 by 4. So this here is already 10, so I'm going to go and cut 2 pieces that are 4.4. Okay, and then I need 2 pieces. I don't know if this, I need to cut a new piece. I need 2 pieces that are 3.9 by 10 or 1.5 by 4. So cut that down to 10. And I need 2 bits that are 3.9, I think I said. This is such pretty paper. Love it. Okay. So I think they were the only bits that I forgot to chop. Okay. Now I can come back here and make sure I'm on there. Okay, so now what I want to do is adhere this DSP down. I don't even have my glue open today. I'm doing well, aren't I? Okay. And I'm just going to adhere this down to my pretty peacock mat. There's a lot of matting involved in this card. Now what we can do is adhere this to the Early Espresso base. This paper is beautiful, Kayla. So pretty. Okay. We'll center that. Now, if you want to get all technical, I feel like there's this is my OCD coming out. It's just slightly funky edge, so I just want to trim off the tiniest bit there. Now let's see, I'm making sure my stamp is the bottom side of my card because that's something I would do. Now this piece here, you can roughly center it, or what you can do is work out half. So you can work out the 5.5, or in metric, what would it be? 7.5. So you could work that out and make a little, let's just grab a ruler. It wouldn't be quite 7.5 because that would make it 15, but we'll go with 7.5 because it's the easiest one. So 7.5 would roughly be half. You can just eyeball this if you want, but then you can line up that pencil mark with the open of the gatefold there, and that will get you to be as centered as you can be. So let's add some adhesive to the back here. And then we're going to use that as a guide to roughly line that up. Now I'm going to lift it to make sure I'm pressing that down to make sure it's nice and even. Oh, Kayleen, see, look, we're just the same. Okay. So that is all good. Now let's layer these pieces up so we can stick them down. You should have 4 pieces of Pretty Peacock, but they're actually different. One of them's smaller. So you just want to make sure that you're lining up the correct ones. So I'm going to layer them all together. Isn't that side pretty too? We could change. But I think I'll keep it the same. I'm not going to make last minute changes. Okay. And this piece looks like it's one of the bigger ones as well. So one of the panels is 5 centimeters. The top panel's 5 centimeters, and this inner panel is 4.5. Otherwise, you're at 2. I think it's 2 inches and 1 7/8 or something. Okay. And we'll line these ones up. This would look pretty with so many different sweets. I was thinking, if I had time, I was going to make one with the Valentine's Day looking heart sweet. That's also an online exclusive because that's really cute and would look really good. You could even have, instead of the circle like this, you could have one of the hearts. It would look really cute. Maybe I'll make that. Not tonight. Okay, so I'm just going to line this one up. And then I can start popping these on the card. So I want my 2 pieces to go on the front. Rochelle, I couldn't work out still what actually this card is called. So I just went with double gatefold, and I'm going to go with that. I tried to Pinterest it and work out if there's anything called this, but I'm sure it has a name. If you know what it's called, let me know because I have no idea. It's a type of gatefold. Okay, then we're going to open it out and add these in there. Yeah. It's the thing with fun folds. They get reinvented so much and then change back to their original, then reinvented again, and they change names with all those inventions. What is that? A security gatefold. Yes, it's harder to get into. Okay, so then we've got a panel for the center where you'll add your message. Now I've done my Pretty Peacock to go along with the colors with my basic white, and oh goodness me, for that I have done. Where did that go? Oh my goodness, I have it open. Silly computer. It's on the PDF, but for this it is actually cut to the basic white piece is 8.4 by 10 or 3 1/4 by 4, and then I've put it onto a mat of 8.6 by 10.2 centimeters or 3 3/8 by 4 1/8. I think I'm one of those annoying people that use Imperial probably don't like, because I do add 1/8 of an inch layers and stuff like that, but I love small layers. Now I'm going to use the back of my template because I'm sure that I don't need it to do my blending on, because I want to have something to protect my desk. Now I'm going to bring in some ink pads. I don't think there's many cards that I don't add ink blending onto, so we're going to have some ink blending. Now I'm going to add a little bit of Lost Lagoon. I feel like I've used Pretty Peacock on this blending brush that really just won't go away. So everything's looking pretty peacock. But hey, that's one of the coordinating colors on this card, so that's okay. Now, I'm just adding a little bit into my corner, and then I'm going to go in with some pretty peacock, but I'm going to use a different blending brush. And I'm going to add just a little bit of pretty peacock, although you're not going to see too much of this, but I just wanted to add the two colors. And then I'm going to add a little bit of, although I think I've already got it out. Look, this is organized. I've got my blends out ready. I showed Maestro and Michelle these trays that I use to get organized. So when I do a live, I have everything out. And Maestro cracked me up because she's calling them, what is it? Kayla's trays or something, because she thinks she bought some for herself and she likes the organization. So I just spritz that with some Lost Lagoon. Now I'm going to put the die cuts on first, and then I'm going to show you how I've colored the otters, because I have some there, but then I figured some people like to see coloring, even though I'm probably not the person I'd suggest to go to for coloring tips. Now, anyway, I have cut lots of these. So this is way more than what you need to cut, by the way. I just went to town. Now I'm going to grab 2 of these, which I've die cut in lemon lime twist. And then I've got some of these small ones, which I have die cut in pretty peacock. Yes, that's right. And then I've got the tiniest little fish. So that'll be fun, but we're going to add those last, I think. What I want to do, just to get this piece out of the way and in the card, I'm going to do this bit. So I'm going to grab a blending brush and then some Granny Apple Green again. And because these pieces are quite fragile, so probably don't go too heavy with your blending brush. I'm just lightly adding some colour to get a bit of variation on these pieces. So really lightly. And then I'm going to bring my pretty peacock back in and just add a little bit to these tiny pieces here. Now, it really doesn't, I might do a little bit more because we need some for the front, so I may as well do them all at once, hey? So let's do a few more. I'm going to bring in, how many do you think Kayla will use? We'll go 5. We'll go an uneven number. And then I'm going to bring in some of those little ones. When I tend to fussy cut stuff out or die cut, I really do go crazy. It was like I've never lost the chefing thing when I was working as a chef, when you're always over-prepared food in case. And I still do the same thing now. Like, we're only a small family. It's only myself, my partner, and my 10-year-old son, and we really don't eat that much food because, I mean, full disclosure, my partner and I have a gastric sleeve, so you can't actually eat large portions of food. And I always make enough to feed an army. I do the same with my die cutting and fussy cutting. Hey, Regina from Germany. Is it morning there? I think it's morning for those in Europe. Okay, then I'm going to bring back in the Granny Apple. It is almost 8 o'clock at night here and it's still light outside. It's getting dark, but because now we're in daylight savings, I have a love-hate relationship with daylight savings, I think. Okay. Oh, goodness, I knew that would happen. Right. Let's just do a little bit more and then at least that bit's done, although I do have a couple more things to ink, but we can do that when it comes to it. Okay, 10:40 in the morning. That's a beautiful time of day. Okay, so let's add these on. I'm going to just, there's 2 sizes of these, so I'm just going to grab a couple of them. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue. This would be a handy thing to cut out with adhesive sheets if you don't like using lots of little bits of glue. I love fussy things like little die cuts and things that take a million years to make. Okay, so I'm sitting those on there, and then I'm just going to add a bit more glue to this one, so it needs a bit more on the base. And then I can come in. I'm going to use, just need to pull one out. I'm going to use one of the otters I've already coloured, and then I'm going to show you how to colour the ones on the front. That way I can get this bit stuck down. Adding colour to die cuts really changes them. It does. I really love doing it. Hey, Liz from Wellington. What's it there? About 10 o'clock at night? Or are we 2 hours difference? I'm not sure now. Okay, so I'm going to add a couple of these pretty peacock ones. I actually feel like this bundle is one of those ones that's good to die cut a lot of little pieces out and then pull them out and play with them like when you've already got all the little bits fussy cut out. That way it's not so mundane when you go to create with it. Okay, so that's those little pieces, and then I'm going to add my otter. Look at this little dude, isn't he cute? Still feels like 28 degrees at 6:45. Oh, yuck. Here it's raining and so uncomfortable. Very autumnal. I love autumn. Okay, so I'm going to stick my little otter dude on there. Now, I'm going to have to grab my take your pick tool because, word of warning, these little fish are tiny. And I should have actually added these before I added the little bits. Let's just see if we can tuck some underneath because they look cute. They look like they're swimming out underneath these pieces. So I'll just have to tuck in some little glue. Like when I say they're tiny, I'm talking like, I'll probably have to hold it up. I'm talking there's little fish that are like little dots. Those. So these take your pick tools are really great for things like that. In fact, I like to have both ends. I like to have this end open as well. And I have cut these, by the way, out of Summer Splash glimmer paper. Summer Splash and Coastal Cabana are the best colours ever. How many should we do? They remind me of the little Whiskers cat food. Like, it's that kind of shape. Right. So I'm going to, can I do this left? I'm right-handed and I'm trying to do something that needs a dominant hand in both, I feel. But I'm going to try and squeeze out a little bit of glue with my left hand. This feels so uncoordinated. And then tap down my little fish. It's a way to embarrass yourself on live is start doing things with your non-dominant hand. Stick there. Now I want to adhere this little dude underneath. I need to pick it up though. Let's just add a little dot and then lift it over. I'm making everything more complicated just so that I'm giving some entertainment. Let's see if I can change hands and do it this way. What is that? That makes me like, what do they call it? Ambidextrous or something, if you can do it with both hands. Did I already glue that one? No. Okay, that would do. That will do it. Okay, let's add some Winter Stella. 9:43 in the evening. Lovely spring day. Oh, that's nice. You use green in your scrapbook pages today. Is that inspiration from the current season? Okay, so then now that has got enough going on there, so I'm going to add it to my layer of Pretty Peacock. I was about to say Lost Lagoon, but I've got all these colours mixed up in my head. Oh, I'm either pushing it too far or not enough. Okay. And double check I'm sticking this the right way. So this one goes into the center. Pretty, that's the inside done. Now, how weird is that? I'm doing the inside of the card before I've done the outside. Talk about doing it backwards. Okay. Now we want to, I'm actually going to spritz my card. Actually, I don't want that to, I need something heavier, not my coffee cup, because that will go wrong. I want it to stay shut, although it's not really imperative that it does. Okay, so I want to spritz the outside panel of my card. You could do this beforehand, really. But I don't want it to go and have that open and then it spritz there as well. So I'm just going to do Lost Lagoon and spritz the outside. I just like the speckled look that it gives. Now I have cut 2 circles. These are from the, what are these called? Stylish Shapes, and this is the second largest of the circles. So I have got 2 because I actually like the finished look it gives to see the front of one on the back, and so that's the only reason I do 2. You absolutely don't need to do 2, you could just have 1. Love the face, Miss Otter. Yes, he is so cute, isn't he? I just really like these otters. I don't know if any of you remember the other otter. So I'm positive because honestly, I'm serious when I say I've got like 10 of them. So this was the otter that we had. And what's this one? Awesome Otters, and we've got Amazing Otters. I didn't like these otters as much because these are more cutesy, whereas these ones are more realistic that we're using. So, see, look, this is a brand new stamp because that's how many I had of them. Okay, so let's colour one of these circles. I'm going to go with some Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to colour 1/2 with Lost Lagoon. Does anyone clean their blending brushes? Because I was looking up tips. I don't clean them very often. I counted today, I have 18 big ones and 9 small ones. But after a while, I just felt like they were getting a lot of build-up of colour. So the other day if you run them under a tap, they get really wet and take ages to dry. So I was using a microfiber cloth that I wet with the Stampin' Mist, the Stampin' Up Stamping Mist, and I gave them a real good scrub on that. But I saw someone use rubbing alcohol, like spraying rubbing alcohol as well. But I just felt like they needed a good clean. I don't know. If you don't clean them, you don't have to clean them. A lot of people don't. You've cleaned. How did you clean yours, Megan? Okay, now I'm going to do the bottom half in Pretty Peacock. I love the combination of these 2 colours. Thor is sniffing at the door. He's been being very vocal, so I know that he's there. Okay. Spray with alcohol and rub on a microfiber cloth. I think that's what I saw, Sandra, that someone did. It was quite cool, but and they came up really clean. Okay, so I've got that piece. You can see the changes in the colour. It does change a little bit more as it dries a little bit. I'm going to spritz with some Lost Lagoon. And then that is that piece ready. You can adhere it to put the right side on the back and just smush them together like an Oreo. You just need cream. But I don't have to do that yet. I can do that after. So I'm going to show you the colouring. Okay, so I have got my pieces. This one here I've pre-coloured, and that's what we're going to make. But I stamped this in Memento Black, and then I can't remember what it was, someone had stamped it in Early Espresso. Now, you probably can't see on camera there's much difference. It's just this has got quite a harsh black line, whereas this one's Early Espresso. Now, you may not realise, but when using stamping blends, you need to use a water-based ink, not an alcohol-based one. So you can't use stays on when you're doing stamping blends. But all of our coloured inks are fine to use because they're water-based. So you can stamp in whatever colour you like and then colour them with blends. What's this? Just ran them on the tap until clear, then rubbed them on a chamois to take some of the water out and left the tube. How long did it take to dry, Megan? Oh, thanks, Matt Ray. Okay, so I have got some crumb cake, some pecan pie, and then I bought in the 300. Now, I'm pretty sure this is medium deep. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. So I'm gonna go, and this is my version of colouring because, you know, now I'm gonna start by doing underneath the, what do you call this, snout or something, and then through the chest in just the light crumb cake. Now I don't know if I can actually zoom in a little bit more, probably just a little bit. Hopefully you can see, although I probably should zoom out even further. Then I'm going to do just under his belly there, because their chest or their underbelly is lighter, it's a different colour. So I'm going to do the same to this little guy here. And then just do under there and just a little bit under the belly. Then I'm going to bring in the darker crumb cake, and I'm just going to add a little bit of dark sort of underneath. You can see a line that the artist has added. I'm just going to add a little bit of darker as well. And just to one side, sort of add a bit of shadowing. So it may look really random at the moment. And then I'm going to come in back in with my light and sort of blend that out a little bit. Just to get rid of the harsh line. Okay, now I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to bring in my light pecan pie. And I found it easier to go around my outline and colour that in. So I'm just going to colour the head in. I feel like I go really quiet from colouring. It's the tranquility, honestly. Telling the ladies in class today, as I said, I was feeling a bit tired and I had 2 or 3 coffees. I can't remember how much I had. And I said, to wake myself up, I went for a cold shower. And said, not quite Wim Hof level, but does anyone else have cold showers? Or you couldn't stomach the thought. Now, I've just gone in and coloured all of that with the light pecan pie. I'm just going to do the other one, then I'll come in and do my darker bits. I've come to the conclusion the less you worry and think about colouring, the better, because that just stresses me out. Our stamping blends are quite forgiving too. Like, you can just make it artistic, blend it out, go with it. Okay. Now I'm going to come back in with my, you've got a reason to have a cold shower, Megan. You live in the hot climate. Now this is the light crumb cake. I'm just going to blend a little bit where the crumb cake meets the pecan pie to kind of give it a bit of a blended out feel. So I'm just going in there and just sort of blending it out a little bit. Now I'm going to come in with my dark pecan pie now. I'm going to add some darker lines. I'm sort of going around the outlines of the otter. I don't know if you can hear my doggy, but he's not happy. I've been in here doing class today and now I'm back in here. Okay. So once you're happy, I'm going to add a little bit to his little ear there. A bit more. And then I'm going to add the 300. Now this is a lot darker, so I'm just going to go and add a thinner line, so not to the whole thing, just to add a bit more of a dark highlight to some areas. So you've got kind of got 3 shades going on here. I'll do his little ear in through here. And then I'm going to come in with my light pecan pie. And actually I might, what's this one again? That's 300 now dark. I might just quickly add the dark and just let that have a second. I used to blend it out straight away when I was adding a darker color, and then I realized I was actually kind of getting rid of too much of the highlight. So I do let it sit for just a moment, just so that it can work in. Yeah. This is quite quick colouring. You can sit and do, spend a bit of time on this, sit in front of the TV, binge watch Netflix. Okay. I have my 300 in there. It's funny because it looks like a bit of a mishmash while you're adding all your tones in there, but then once you start to really blend it out, it looks lovely. Okay, so I want to come back in with my light pecan pie now. This is where I'm going to get rid of those harsh lines, and I'm going to blend that out. Some people go in a circular motion like this, or some people just colour in like they're colouring in with a pencil. I don't think it really matters. It's just what feels comfortable to you when using the blends. I just want to blend it out and get rid of any harsher lines. That's the great thing and the difference between using Stampin' Wrap markers and blends. Because Stampin' Wrap markers don't do this. They're water-based. They're great for watercolour techniques. Okay. Oh, someone's letting off fireworks outside. Lovely. Okay. Almost done. And if you go a little bit out of the lines, there is a colour lifter, which we have, which will help to lift that colour. I might use the colour lifter in a second. I'll show you something. I'm probably not reading comments if there are any, because I struggle when I'm colouring to do that. Bring in a little bit of light and just blend it through here a little bit. I think that's looking good. Let him in. Am I being mean to my dog, Megan? Okay, so I'm going to shut all these up now. And I've got, this is our colour lifter. So this one comes as just one, and you can actually run it right over your image and add some highlights in some areas. And what it will do is partially lift that colour. I tend to go overboard with it. You don't need to add too much. But I don't know if you can see, I got a little bit out of the lines here at the bottom. So I'm just going to run that. It takes a minute, but it will lift that colour. Now let's quickly add some colour to these. I'm going with foliage, seagrass, I don't know, river ferns. This is light lemon lime twist. The dogs are now bashing on the door, but I think Elijah's running around the hallway with them. Okay, so I'm adding it just the basics of lemon lime twist to all of these. And then I'm going to come in with some Pretty Peacock, which might seem really random, but I'm just going to add a little bit of Pretty Peacock just to the base of, there's two types. There's a bit of grass and there's also a ferny looking image. So I'm just going to add my Pretty Peacock to that one. And then I've got my dark Lemon Lime Twist, which I'm just going to add to the grassy looking ones. And bring back in my light Lemon Lime Twist. And I'm just lightly blending this out. It won't do heaps, but I think it's just pretty to combine those two colours. Okay. Pretty. And there is the little hello from Minnesota. Hi, Dorothy. This is a little baby otter. I've done the same colours. I've gone round with my pecan pie, added my crumb cake to the underbelly, and added a little bit of 300. So really cute, simple colouring. Now I'll just zoom back out again. Okay, so now before we add those to the card, I want to do a little bit more stuff. So I've cut out some of these little, I don't know what you call them, river rocks, and I've done them in a mixture of smoky slate and pebbled path. And then I've also got one of the cute river log things, and I've cut that out of pecan pie. So I've done that ahead of time. Now I think they're the only pieces that I needed to grab. I've also heat embossed the sentiment from the stamp set in Pretty Peacock in white. So I've got that bit there. Now I want to add a little bit of blending to these ones. So I'm going to grab some early espresso and my small blending brush. I'm going to add a little bit of dark just to this one. I still want some Pretty Peacock to show through, and I realise that you can't actually even really see. You can only see very small touches of that log on the original, because I went a little bit overboard with that. So I might see if I can have it poking out a bit more on this one. So I've got my Pebbled Path ink, and I'm going to just add a tiny bit of ink to this one. I probably should have got, I don't have a grey small blending brush. I might need to do something about that. So I'm just going to add a little bit to these edges. It's very, these kind of things are great for a small blending brush, not a big one. Okay, so I've got those pieces. Now let's start assembling it. I want to pull in my circle. Also, I want to pull in my coffee and have a sip. Okay. Now I'm going to start by placing my big duo of otters. Is that what we call them, a duo? And then the log, I'm going to have them sitting, when I was making this, I had them sitting behind the log with the little baby otter on top. This ended up getting covered up a lot by the time I brought in the sentiment. So I'm going to see if I can change it up a little bit in assembling this card. I'm just going to cut this down a little bit. So I want to have my sentiment coming down there somewhere. But we want to actually start poking in our little foliage pieces. So to do that, I'm actually just going to sit a few. I want a few either side. So there's two sizes. You can cut them down even, because I don't want them that long. Sort of want them poking up either side, and then you can sort of use this as a placement guide, so we can see them coming out either side, and we know that we've got to poke some more in. So I'm going to use all 5 because I love odd numbers. And then I'm going to want some of these little ones poking out here, so I'm going to add a few of these. Now you could do this, you could adhere these, if this is bothering you, you could adhere them as you go. Or you could stick them like this and use press and seal. But I'm going to see. I'm just going to see how this is looking. It doesn't matter if they move a touch. I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with this. So I'm just going to poke these ones back. Now, you'll be shocked. I did not use a stapler to adhere these because I thought, oh, although you could because we're covering it with another circle. Should I? I always recommend a stapler because honestly, it makes life so easy when it comes to things like these, which, let's face it, fiddly things like these are one of my favourite things to do. So if you have a stapler, go for it. And I did go to that trouble of cutting out an extra circle. But do you know what's funny? To do that, I'm going to do those last. To do that, we're going to have to pick it up. Let's keep that stuff there. Okay, out comes the stapler. Yes, out comes the stapler. Oh, and it's got no staples in it, Megan. Put that back down. Hold on. Okay, where are you hiding staples? It's because I'm lazy and only ever put a few staples in at a time. If I put a whole row, I'd be fine. Okay. Now, take 2. Stick those there and then just makes it so much easier. You only have to put a couple because they only have to hold enough that they're going to stay there. So they're going to do as they're told. Now, because we've only got the little ones are a lot easier. So we can come in with some glue dots. And then poke these little guys in. It feels weird being live, like I've done a couple that have been pre-recorded, and today I'm crafting on the fly. I'm right here with you. I do have a busy few weeks coming up though. If you're a Stamping Lounge member, you will have seen, actually it's on our public page too, we're having a 12 days of Christmas challenge, and that's open to everyone, whether you're a member or not. But you want to be a member because if the members are getting the tutorials to make them, but you can definitely come in and join in our challenge. We'd love to have you join in. And I've done my 4, so we're doing 4 each, and I've done my 4 and they were super fun when I filmed my tutorials. Okay, so I'm going to stick my otters up on some dimensionals. Because what's a card without some dimension, right? Oopsie. I'm feeling like I should get my nails done next week, and I don't ever feel like that. I just feel like getting my nails done. I feel like people see my hands on camera so much, and I never ever get my nails done. I used to, but I don't anymore. Okay, so I'm going to stick the log down here. I do want to have the log showing this time, so I need to, we'll work with it. Okay, next week I'll try and remember when you are going live so I can turn on TV to see better. Oh, you're watching me on the phone. Yes, I watch a lot of my live videos when I'm in bed, but I'm lucky because I have a TV in my bedroom, which I tend to use. And I'm going to be in my bedroom for a couple of days soon. I'm going to lose my craft room, I think, for a little bit because we're having all our floors ripped up and glued down, and they're smashing, well, not smashing, I'm sure that's not what they call it, but they're taking up all the tiles and replacing it with vinyl floors. So I'm dreading it. I'm dreading it because of the dogs. Okay, so I have got this mainly done. I've still got a few more pieces to add. I was just working out roughly if that's enough. I do want to adhere my river rocks down. So I'm going to adhere one of those down here somewhere. And I'm just going to stick those with some glue because I don't think they need dimension. So I'm going to alternate between shapes here. Kayleen, I would never get, I wouldn't get fake, what do you call them? Acrylics, is that what they're called? It's a sensory thing. I would just pick them off. I can't handle like the feeling of them. I had them for my wedding and they came off that night or something. I couldn't handle it. I felt weird pressing the toilet button. Okay. Now we're going to bring in the little fish. So I'm just going to bring in the whole tray because it's going to be a lot easier. And I'm going to add, you know what's going to be easier? I'm going to add dots of glue where I think I might want a fish. That's 4. That's weird. I have an odd number. Now, where is it? I take your pick tool and then I'm going to bring in my little catfish biscuits because that's what they look like. And I'm going to add them this way. I think that'll be a lot easier. There's some really big ones, and I feel like that would look cool on a big scene. But this one, I felt like it needed tiny fish. Okay, I think I need another small one. I can deal with my own real nails as long as that's it. I wish I wasn't so sensory, like as far as those things came, because it does wreak havoc sometimes. I had fake eyelashes once. Oh, that's for my wedding as well, actually. They came off too. Okay, so now let's tie a ribbon. Well, this is actually I think it's called Lost Lagoon Soft Cord, I think. Oh, thanks, Regina. This stuff is so soft. It's so pretty to work with. And I think it ties a bow really nicely. You've just got to pull, actually I want a bit longer. You've just got to pull tight on that center bit so it stays because it's soft, it's more likely to slide. So just give that a nice tight pull so you've got that. Look how pretty the bow's tie. It's really cute. Now I want to stick that down there somewhere. I'm going to cut this end so that's not attached. Oh, we've got a little, I forgot about the little baby otter. How rude. I probably need a little bit of an edge to stick down my baby otter. That's not quite an edge. And I'm just going to stick that on top of the log so it looks like it's hanging with Mum and Dad. And then this one's going to go on there. So I grab a glue dot and stick my bow down, and then I can stick my sentiment over the top. And can we see a little bit more of the log? Just want to, if I move that down a little bit, because I want my sentiment to cover the middle knot. So if I stick that there, I'm still going to see the ends of the log, which is nice. I am going to have to add a dimensional though, because this sentiment is going to sit over different heights. It's going to sit on top of that bow knot as well as sitting over things like the otter that's on dimension. So what I'm going to do is add the dimensional there and then add glue dots to either end. And that should alleviate that issue. So I'm just going to sit that on top. Look at that. Cute, cute, cute. And then this can now go on. What were the glittery green bits you just put on? These are the little fish. I think they're like Whisker's cat food biscuits, but they're little fish. And the cool thing about those fish actually is they're one die. So this die cuts out the little fish as well as this one cuts out the bigger fish. So you can run them through the die cut machine and cut all of them out at once. By the way, look at these cute little bubbles. That would be cute to make a little background with and have glimmer behind it even. Really, really cute. This die is fun and I didn't realise what it was. I thought it was like a path or like a little river or something, but it's not. I'm going to show you what it does. Okay, so let's stick this down to the card front. You only want to, gosh, we need to stick our back on. So I'm going to move this out of the way. It's getting annoying. Okay. So I'm going to add glue. I'm going to add, it's got to go over staples now, so I'm just going to make sure I've got a decent amount. Stick it onto the back. Make sure it's nicely lined up. As I said, you don't need the backing of that circle if you don't want to. If you use staples, probably advisable. Okay, now I want to add dimensionals only to this left-hand side. You don't want to add it to the whole thing because you'll stick your card shut. So let's add, I'm going to add 5 because I want to, this is, you know, with all the bits and pieces going on here now, it is getting heavier. So you want a decent amount of adhesive. And then I'm going to stick that, centering it on my card, stick it on, and then that's open. You could cut shorter tails. I probably will cut them just a little bit because they're getting a bit long. And then I'm going to add some river rocks. I think that's what, I don't know what to call them. They are over here. So I'm going to add some of these. There's 3 colours of these. I'm not 100% sure what the colours are, and it's probably really hard to tell at night as well. But I think this bottom one's Lost Lagoon, actually. I'm going to add a bigger one. And I just popped those down near the actual pebbles I've popped on the card. So I want to go with 3 different sizes. I like to tuck, if they're bigger, I like to tuck them underneath things as well so that it really makes it flow nicely. So I've just popped 3 into that corner there, and it just added another element to the card, which was a bit fun. So I think I also I haven't done Wink Stella spritzing. I also added a bit of Wink Stella to my pretty peacock little greenery bits, but you don't have to do that. I just love sparkle. I'll add it to everything if I have the choice. You probably could do this beforehand before you stick them to the card. So that is the card. It's a lot of fun, I think, and it could be good for lots of different things. So there's my original, and I like it that you can see the log a bit more on this one. I also made a matching envelope, so I just added a little bit of blending down here, and I stamped a little bit of fish, and then I also blended the back with some Pebble Path and stamped an otter all over the envelope flap. That's really easy to do. Just pop a bit of scrap paper, use your blending and stamp over the envelope flap, and I think it's just a bit cute. It just makes the envelope a bit fancy as well. Now, I wanted to quickly show that die because I thought, well, I only just worked out what it was, so I'm pretty sure that people would love to see. Now, I'm going to grab a scrap bit of card. What have I got? I've got some Lost Lagoon, so I'm going to grab a little piece of that. You could also do it with the DSP as well. So I'll cut this down. And then because I'm cutting a card front, I think I'm going to have to run it through. I would cut it out of the DSP, but I haven't decided on a card design, so I'll just do it out of this one. I'm going to pop this die in. So just imagine you've designed your card front at this point, because I totally haven't. Okay, now I'm just going to lose the die. Now, it doesn't actually cut out the shape, although it can, because you could snip and have that, you could cut out and do it like a river. But what the actual design, I believe, was for is really nifty. You can actually pop in and like tuck in your little otters so they look like they're swimming. I just thought it was so cute. So you can have them swimming and it looks like they're coming out. How cute is that? I did not know it did that. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm in love with that. So you can tuck them in and have layers of otters. I think it's Otterly adorable. Haha. Yeah, so I think that's a bit cute. And there's lots of things I can see with this beautiful, beautiful suite. So you can actually get that now. You can wait until the 5th of November if you want to buy it as a customer, or if you don't want to wait, if you're a demonstrator, you can get it now. Otherwise, I think, where am I? The PDF, by the way, is already up. It's on my website. Sorry. Let's go back. It's in here. If you didn't catch it at the beginning, these are all the online exclusives. This is just a peek. I did buy lots of them, so I will have lots of different samples coming up because I went crazy buying it all. The other thing is, where are we? We will have samples for this also, got to mention, on the Stamping Lounge. If you don't know what the Stamping Lounge is, it's just amazing. Just rattle I've got tickets on myself. So it's a awesome classroom. We had a monthly class today. We did 3 fun folds, and we have a bunch of classes on there, different things, PDF tutorials, resources, color combinations, all sorts of stuff. It's $24.95 Australian a month. You can join wherever you are in the world. Everyone's welcome. We have lots of different people on there. And we have a private Facebook group. Next week, we're doing a Zoom catch-up where we all just hang out, craft. You can do whatever you want. You can just come to chat. And it's a monthly membership. So that is the website, a little bit about it. Otherwise, you can head to thestampinglounge.com and check out the memberships. We're having another class next month, which I don't know whether I'm scared or excited for, because it's a one-sheet wonder. I've never done one. So that'll be fun learning. Otherwise, I think there is, let's have a look. Let's see if I can do it. Okay. Hopefully you can see this. So I'm showing this. This is live on my website now. And I did want to quickly share. So this is today's card that I just made. But I don't often share. If you're new to watching me, hello and welcome. But I have a whole heap of different PDF tutorials. So when you click this button, it will open a PDF for you to download and print. But if you go onto my website, and in the right-hand side, there is a free tutorial library. So if you click here and go into this, it opens up a bunch. As you click on each individual image, it opens up a bunch of tutorials that you can download and do. They're all in Imperial and metric, and there's a whole bunch of fun folds on there. So they're a lot of fun to do. And that's basically what I do every Saturday, is I come on here and demonstrate something, and there'll always be a free PDF to download, because I love doing that. So now I'll see if I can share. Let's see how I go at this, because it's not something I've really done much. So I'm just going to copy and paste something and see if it works. Hopefully it does. So I shared at the start that I would show how to add these products that aren't available yet to a starter kit. Now, this is what comes up if you click the link in the video description of how to join Stamping Up. Now, if you're joining my team, it will come up with my picture here. Otherwise, it will. Otherwise, you'll be joining under someone else. So you can clear, if you don't want to join under me, you just press clear team leader, and you can search for someone else to join under. So let's press get started. I'm pretty sure I already have an account. So I'm just going to type in my password. I'm not actually joining. I'm just doing a dummy thing here. So this will tell you how to join here. Now, I would like to do a disclaimer that joining does not mean you have to run a business, because the first thing that happens when you join is it's going to tell you you're getting catalogs and order forms and things like that. A lot of people join just for the discount, and that is fine. So this here you get free as part of your starter kit. You can hand out catalogs to your friend. They're great idea books, by the way, with lots of card ideas, but you do not have to sell or run a business. It's just one part of it, because you absolutely can. It's a great opportunity as well. Now, this part, you go to select products. That's just telling you what you get in there. And then this is where the joining promotion this month is. You can choose $286 of products. Usually it's $235. So you're getting an extra $51 this month, only for this month. So it's going to cost $169 still, but you're getting more product. So this is where you come to, and it will say all products. So if you know the product code, you can go up here and press the search icon, or you can filter your search. So maybe you want to search for something that was in a particular catalog. Maybe you want to search by occasion. There's all kinds of ways to search. However, a really easy way to see the new stuff is go to this button here and press newest. That's going to come up with the latest products. So you can see here, this one, you won't see this in the online store as a customer. This is only because I'm in here to order a kit. And you can choose these products. So as an example, I'm going to pop in some things to the kit. So at the moment, these are 30% or up to 30% off. It will say add to starter kit. So I'm just going to press this button. I'm going to try and do this as quick as I can. So let's just go and add some things, and I'm going to show you what happens. By the way, there is up to 30% off kits if you're buying them as a customer. A lot of them are selling quick, so that's something you want to check out if that's on your wish list. Now, you can see down here, remaining retail value, $44.90. Now, when joining up, you have to be as close as you can under that. So if I say $44.90, I can see these are $44. I want to get the most out of that value. So I'm going to add, and then you can see there's 90 cents left. It won't let me add anything more now. So if I press view kit at this point, it's going to come up with everything that I have added. And now I can come down. So you can see there that the value of that is $285.10, and you're only paying $169, and there's no shipping cost. So it's a great deal. If you press next, there's a couple things. The reason I wanted to show you is that some of this is a bit confusing. So, oh gosh, it's got my old surname. So it'll tell you that some of this has to be typed in, and you do have to put your phone number in this. Have to have a space in between here. Now, you do need to enter your birth date. It does require a birthday. So if I just quickly enter that, you do not need an ABN. Just because it's got this box here doesn't mean you need an ABN. So don't feel like you need to do that. The driver's license thing, I'm pretty sure it does actually say you need to enter it, or maybe not. Oh, no. So you do not need those two things just because they're there. I don't have a current driver's license anymore, so I didn't enter it. Make sure your mailing address is right. The supporting demonstrator is if you, say, wanted to do it with your mum or your partner, they actually can't sign up as a demonstrator under the same household, but you can put them as a supporting demonstrator. Otherwise, you just tick, I will not have one. And then basically you're just ticking that you agree to the policies and procedures. You can download all of those here. So note that before you tick, you want to check those out. Press continue. And then the GST registration, you do not have to be registered for GST. So you can just press continue, only tick that if you do. Free shipping. And then the payment method is simply credit card or PayPal. So I love that we have PayPal now because a lot of people use that. It's very trusted. And then you just tick that and press continue, and then that's going to take you through to payment. Now, you do get an email from Stampin' Up with all the details after that. So it's really simple to do. I love it. Okay, so I hope that was easy enough. Oopsie. Go back there. Awesome. I'm just getting back to your comments. So lovely stuff. I hope that you enjoyed the card tonight. I thought I would just go through that joining thing because there's a lot of weird things on there, and sometimes it can be a bit confusing. But definitely take advantage of that if you want some of these new products early, because you can get them at a great discount. And I do love my team. I have loved making those little enamel pins for all my team. And I'm going to pop on and do actually. I do need to tell my team because I've sent them all a little packet of goodies, and this includes some of the new Valentine's Day stuff. So I've sent them a surprise packet of goodies. I'm going to challenge them to make something and post it to the group. And because I've done that, I've kept one for me because I'm going to challenge myself to do it as well. So I thought that would be a bit fun. Now, anyway, I'm going to pop off. I will be back next Saturday. Don't know what I'm doing yet, but if you have any requests for anything you want me to do, I'll do my best to accommodate because I love to share everything I can with you guys. So have a great rest of your weekend. Lol, Megan. Yeah, have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys next week. Catch you later, guys. Bye.